Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Morristown. I'm Frankie Timbers, and I'm so glad that we have faces in the room, and of course, all those who are joining us virtually, because together we create this community, and specifically today. So we are in the month of June, and the theme for the year is living everyday wonder. And June is the month where we explore the idea of body and what that means. And so we start off today with loving the body temple. And I think the beauty of that is that there's always more room to love the body temple, right? So we're going to explore this idea of how we experience the body temple, what it's telling us, because it speaks, right? And what's in the way of truly loving the body temple and how we can heal that. And we heal that by celebrating that we are an incarnation of the One. So I'm Frankie Timbers, and I'm the spiritual director here at Center for Spiritual Living Morristown. Those of you that are joining us online, check us out on the web. Our website is cslmorristown.org. It has all kinds of events. Like today, Theo Tilton is here presenting his new book. I think it's still new. The Practice Method, and answering any questions and just sharing what that's about. So I got my penny sitting over there because I've been wanting to buy a real copy from him while he's signing it. So we'll enjoy Theo a little bit later. And if you are online, whether it's Facebook Live or YouTube, let us know you're here. Say hello to each other. Use thumbs up, thumbs down, hearts, all those wonderful things. And let's begin by doing our namaste practice. Namaste is the Sanskrit word for a very long sentence, which is the divinity in me blesses the divinity in you. So that's something that we can meditate on for a lifetime, what that means and how we can give in that way and how we can receive in that way. So put your hands together in front of your heart and just greet somebody with a namaste. 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 All right. And so let's have an opening spiritual mind treatment, our word for affirmative prayer. And I really want to bring in this idea of everything that's happening in the world. Right? Because in our teaching, we don't ignore that or deny that. It's in the world. It's in the world of effect. It's in the world of conditions, but it affects us. And there's so much happening that the most beautiful way to be a healing presence in the world is to go within and to declare the truth and to allow that to seep into every fiber of our being. So let's know together, on this World Environmental Day, which is a holiday that the UN established, we realize that our hearts are so big that we can wrap our love around the world and all of its creatures, all of its beings, including everything on our Mother Earth, the Earth itself. And we can extend that love that is in our hearts because it comes from that infinite place of divine love. And so today we open our hearts and our minds to this awareness, and we allow it to grow, and as it grows, it just dissolves whatever is in the way, because that's not real in the first place anyway. It has no foundation. What does have a foundation is the very truth of our being. And so today we bring that into the world by means of our breath, by means of our heartbeat, by means of our presence, by means of our love, by means of our service, and by means of all the healing work that we have done and continue to do. I completely trust that this activity is greater than we can even imagine and has an even greater effect than we will ever see. Trusting that then we are more open and receptive to the moment at hand, filling our hearts with gratitude for all the good that is in the world and that we get to experience on a moment-to-moment basis. And so it is.
And so it is.
So I'm going to go right into my talk, and then we're going to have a wonderful song that we get to sing together. But I want to invite you to close your eyes. Get comfortable. If you have any stuff on your lap, if you don't mind, you can put it down. Morgan, you're fine. Close your eyes. And just become aware of your body temple. Just noticing what you're noticing without attaching any opinion, thought, or judgment to it. Just allowing yourself to be fully present in your body temple. This time around, this incarnation, this body. And keeping your eyes closed, take your arms and wrap them around yourself. Any way that's comfortable for you. Your eyes are closed so nobody can see you. And take another breath. And let your breath be the breath of love. Loving your body temple that houses your spirit. Thanking it for all that it does for you. If any thoughts or beliefs that are limiting in any way pop up, just let them go with the out-breath. And come back to loving the body temple. Make note of them because they can assist you later. But for now, just love and thank your body temple. Now slowly, slowly open your eyes, coming back into the room in case your mind has drifted. If you say, I'm not ready, I want more, just remember that you can go back to this later. The things our bodies put up with. Right? I have to say, having gone through a health challenge, I really looked at this idea of the body temple and how which beliefs made me experience illness, cancer, cancerous thoughts, cancerous beliefs was a no-brainer to really look at that and to really look more deeply. Because we know that the body and the mind and the spirit are connected. And if it's all about an invitation to remember who and what we really are, then all of it is a gift. Because when we look at the challenges that we have with and in the body as a gift, then we have something to work with. But if we see it as a burden, as a curse, it will not go away until we really allow ourselves to understand and to see and to know and to expand our consciousness to realize that the body is just a messenger when it doesn't seem to be working the way we like it to be working. So what we learn, as Ernest Holmes says, your body is the temple of the living spirit. That's mind-blowing to me. But our body is the temple of the living spirit. Your body is spiritual substance. Hence, how amazing it is, this intelligence, the way it works in the body. I had a paper cut right here in the corner of my mouth. Don't ask me how. And it hurt. Paper cuts hurt, right? And I really just stopped and sat and went, okay, healing power of spirit. Just heal this now, right now. And I just sat and waited, and it was gone. We don't know how powerful we really are in influencing this body temple. What we learn on the spiritual journey is that we are not our bodies. We might think, well, this is it. Skin and bones, some organs on the inside. We are not that. We are much more than that. And you don't have a soul. You are a soul. You are a soul that is housed in the body temple, even though it doesn't end here, because that's why you can feel it when somebody walks in a room that you like or don't like, right? There's an energy field, right? But you and I are a soul happening to have incarnated as who we are in this body, this mind, which is just a temporary traveling vehicle to awaken to the presence of spirit within. And we're given this life and this life experiences and everything in it to awaken to that presence and power within. And so that tells us that everything about the body is sacred. Everything about the body is sacred. So I'm going to see if there are some brave souls in the room. Either imagine, or maybe you do this every day, standing in front of a mirror naked. What part of your body, what about your body do you judge? Who is brave enough to say it? My belly.
Yeah, my belly.
Your belly? Your belly. Aging. Changes in the body. Where did that wrinkle come from? How come my eyes are getting smaller? What else?
Saggy skin.
Saggy skin.
My thighs.
Your thighs.
Your butt.
Your butt. What happened? It was up here. Now it's down here. That's because if we say laugh your ass off, be careful. Because at one point you're going to regret it, or you just shifted to laugh my belly off. Or my saggy skin. What else?
Hair.
Hair. Or no hair.
In places you don't want it.
How's that possible? How come at 64, almost 65, I'm getting a mustache?
Yeah.
After losing everything, it's all coming back. It's like, what?
Yeah.
What else? Who else feels particularly brave to just say it out loud?
Scars.
Scars.
A complete overhaul.
A complete overhaul. So the places where it's difficult for us to love the body is exactly about the places where we get to arrive at loving the body temple as the temple that houses the spirit exactly the way it is. Because I'm telling you, if we don't love those parts of us, they can't change. Because they're going to stay that way until we get it. And when we do something about it, we get it. Whether it's physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, in a loving way, then it can change. Then we are free, and we know this. When we fight inside about a certain issue or with a certain person, it's when we stop fighting and we realize it's all for us that we are in that moment free, and it can change because it is a manifestation, an outpicturing of what's going on within our own consciousness. That may take a lifetime, right? So those beliefs of, I'm not good enough, I'm not young enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not smart enough, my body isn't this enough, I'm not that enough, is so freaking juicy. Because when we begin to work with that, we set ourselves free, and we set ourselves free to love the body temple exactly the way it is, as the temple that houses your spirit. Some people take better care of their homes or their pets than they do their bodies. So we get to notice what it says about our consciousness when we judge our bodies or someone else's body for that matter. It's information, right? And so when we are not loving the body temple as the temple that houses the spirit exactly the way it is, that information is about lack, loss, or limitation. Beliefs in lack, loss, or limitation. And that sends messages. So think about, you don't have to say this out loud, but think about the messages that you're sending to yourself where you're judging or you're criticizing yourself, in this case, your body. So think of a criticism that you maybe just spoke, and just for a moment, think about what that does to you. Those are areas in our lives where we neglect ourselves, where we abuse ourselves, where we harm and hurt ourselves. There are often things that we would never say to anyone else that we would love. Well, maybe at some point we did. Maybe sometimes we do, but even that is good information, right? And so in that moment, we make that part of us our enemy. And that part of us is just saying, would you just love me? Those thighs, that butt, that belly, those scars are just saying, hey, love me. Take care of me. I need you. I'm not separate from the rest of you. I am part of the oneness of all life. Please see that. The body is so miraculous. It has this infinite intelligence of healing that blows my mind. Now more than ever. Because when I was going through chemo and radiation and all that stuff last year, I didn't think I would recover as quickly as I did. Thank God for this teaching and some wonderful prayer partners. But I didn't think I would recover this quickly. I've recovered so quickly that there are days where I don't even remember I went through that. And it was pretty awful. So the body, and the doctors kept saying that, don't worry, your body is really intelligent. It knows how to heal. Whether it's a paper cut, or a wart, or a break, it doesn't mean we don't go to hospitals when we break an arm, right? We don't just sit there and treat. No, go to the hospital. Ernest Holmes says, when you have a headache, take an aspirin and treat, right? But there's something about celebrating the body's intelligence for healing and trusting it so deeply that we reconnect with the body temple. And it doesn't mean when it's not healing or it doesn't look like it's healing that we have failed. I mean, the physical body does experience aging, right? Just like your car. But it's how we speak to it, how we treat it, how we love it or not, that becomes the area of greater awareness and making some decisions. Because we want to celebrate this incarnation. And we want to befriend this vehicle that houses our soul for such a short time. The mind wants to be aligned with the body and the spirit. The body wants to be aligned with the mind and the spirit. The spirit is already there. Our spirit is already there. It just wants us to experience it. So instead of making the body an enemy, we make it a friend. And we celebrate the body temple. this incarnation, in some spiritual teachings, is a very high level incarnation of our soul. And it's a very high privilege. And I've noticed so many people take it for granted by abusing the body temple, whether it's physically or mentally. And so this is just the opportunity this month to say, let me remember the oneness of all life and see how it can take root in my consciousness and therefore in my body. Now, I know, because we're all much more the same than we are different, that most of us experienced conditioning where we weren't taught to love the body. Anybody else? Were you taught to love your body? Most of us not, right? I know that some of us experienced trauma in the past that really affected the body. I know that we live in a world that heavily judges the body. And I know that some of us have experienced abuse in our history. And so now is the time, now is the space to heal that. And I believe it can be healed in an instant. I'm not the kind of person that says you need therapy for the rest of your life. That's why I'm in this teaching and not in therapy. Well, I was in therapy, but... And so we can be free of that. We can heal from that. I recently was talking to somebody who's an acquaintance who always complains about the same topic, an experience that they had in their life. And something made me turn to him and say, when are you going to change that story? I don't know where that came from, because I usually wouldn't just blurt that out to somebody. And he looked at me and he went, oh my gosh, you're right. You're so right. I keep telling the same story, and he's not really on a spiritual path. I keep telling the same story, so I'm going to change telling the story so that I can have a different experience with it. And I kind of went, right? And so one of the ways that we heal is we befriend the body temple and we take care of it. I literally sometimes listen to my body and I say, what do you want to eat? And it says parsley. All right, let's go get some parsley. Get some parsley. If that's what you want, that's what you want. Sometimes it's ice cream and I'm in the store and then it says, no, that's fast food. Anybody here love ice cream? How many of you judge yourself while you're eating it or after you've eaten it? No, not me anymore. Used to. If we experience disease in any way, shape, or form, see it as a messenger. Don't be afraid of it. It's a gift and a blessing. It has something to tell you. It has a lot of information. Let it speak. Let it speak. And some of them are obvious that we learn in our teaching. You have an earache. What is it you're not hearing or not listening to? Heart issues. What wants to heal in your heart? Belly issues. What can't you stomach? You know, vision. What is it you don't want to see? Some of them are really obvious, right? And so it's not so much whether we heal or not, but that we listen and we have a shift in consciousness, right? And then remember that your most intimate relationship is with your own body. Your most intimate relationship is with your own body, with yourself. It's worthy of adoring and cherishing and loving and caring for. And I promise you, when you do, it will show up in all other areas of your life because it's not compartmentalized. And so in June, we're exploring this idea of body as the sacred temple and where does that not align. And next week, we're going to have some wonderful Indian music. And we have a lot happening next week because we also have Discovery class, which is for anybody that's curious about or interested in membership. And we have a whole full day next week, but the music is 2 new Indian musicians that Monica recommended to us. So we're going to have fun with that. And a heads up that because there is a big event happening in Brookside in 2 weeks on June 19th, we're not meeting here. We're doing a special, unusual Zoom experience, Zoom only. So we're going to meet on Zoom and we're going to have really fun talking about Father's Day. So I invite you now to listen to some music, and more than anything, I would love for you to sing along and to feel the vibration of the song as you sing in your physical body. In the land of I am, I am more than I have been, I am more than I am. We are more than we think we are, always. And that's what we're here to celebrate. So I invite you to just place your hands on your heart just for a moment and close your eyes and just think about the body that represents Center for Spiritual Living Morristown. And all of its 60-some years of history. All the ups and downs, the ins and outs, the changes. And the essence, which is the teaching. The teaching is just a vehicle. I'm sorry, the teaching is the essence, the building, the center for spiritual living is just a vehicle. So imagine all those who've been touched by this teaching, including yourself, and have taken it out into the world. And now use your imagination moving forward. And how you can be of service in supporting this, whether it's your giving financially, and there are many ways to do that. Just ask someone else or me. There's ways to serve. There's ways to talk about it. There's ways to share that we're here. There are ways to share on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. So that years from now, after our bodies are no longer here, there is still a place for people to experience spiritual community and the teaching. And so speak a blessing upon that quietly in your own mind and heart, so that it becomes alive. And then just let it go out on the out breath. And you can open your eyes. So those of you that don't know how you can give, there is a jar there, or on the website there's a place to give. You can do Breeze, my personal favorite, set it up once, just a text. And if there's other ways that you still want to know of, just check in with me. We have a form over there that tells you all about it. So let's do a closing treatment. Actually, Laurie, would you bless us with a closing treatment? Laurie has finished her practitioner studies. And she hasn't licensed yet, and she hasn't fully graduated yet. It's tonight, right?
Well, tonight's the graduation from the training. I still have my oral panels at the end of the month.
That's right. So, but she's going to help us close today with a healing treatment. Yes, Laurie.
So I invite you to close your eyes and join with me in knowing this, that there is one power, one presence, one creative force of all that is, the Alpha and the Omega, that which beats my heart and breathes my breath, that which created everything from the smallest grain of sand to the farthest reaches of the cosmos, that which gives life to this body temple, that has expressed me as spirit in physical form. And as this is true for me, it is true for each one of us. We are each just unique manifestations of this one divine energy, here on this plane to remember that and to demonstrate that in all we think, do, and say. And so right here, right now, I am so grateful for this teaching, for this beautiful center of which we are all a part. I acknowledge that we all bless our body temples with divine understanding and divine right action, taking good care of all the gifts that have been given us. And so with gratitude for all of you here today and all of you watching, our beautiful leadership council, our blessed Reverend Frankie, and all of the love that we inspire and bring forth into the world, I release this word into an ever-loving law that can only say yes. knowing that as I think it, speak it, and do truly believe, so it must be. And I invite you to join me in saying, and so it is.